So friends, this is the third video of October 2023. The month is flying by entirely too quickly. The day that I am recording this is literally halfway through the month, October 15th, Sunday. So, as you guys know, the past video, I asked you guys to chime in like which of the three projects that I share with you guys should I work during NaNoWriMo. And let me tell you, YouTube and Instagram literally decided like their decisions were completely opposite. And when it averaged out, not a lot different between projects. So, how about we talk about the percentages and kind of like the results and what the heck did I do to choose? So, if you're new here by any chance, hi, my name is Esther Maria Andujar. I'm a Puerto Rican writer aspiring to be a hybrid author. I am currently back in Puerto Rico taking care of my mom, and I work part time at a science center. So, let's talk about what happened with the results. I'm gonna be probably either popping in them here or here, whichever site it looks better. The results from Instagram and the results of YouTube, and then somewhere along I'll share kind of like how it averaged out, sum up. I did some math in Excel to see which project had the highest percentage. And you guys, this was hilarious. So let me explain. Um, as you can see on Instagram, the first option, the Taino inspired deids, teenagers coming into godlike powers to save their island, was the well loved option, followed by the Craft meets Rebelde, and I think barely the Magic Circus sci-fi fantasy got chosen. But the funny thing, on YouTube, it was literally the opposite. The Magic Circus Sci-Fi Fantasy was very well loved, was the winner of the options, followed by the Craft meets Rebelde, followed by the Taino Diaz inspired fantasy, which was so funny to see how like drastically different people in the two platforms choose. Um, a lot of you um, follow me on both platforms, but I don't know. I can tell on YouTube side uh, who choose what. Instagram does let me know, but YouTube doesn't. So I don't know if some of the so if people who like two of the options decided to choose one on Instagram and the other on YouTube, or if they choose the same one on both, or if they just voted on one and not the other. I don't have a way to do that. So keep in mind that um, the votes are not entirely transparent to me. That is perfectly okay. At least that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that because I just wanted some of you guys who are my peers, are my friends, to kind of like chime in. But as you can see on the little mat that I did on Excel, there's just like the first option and the third option were at the same percentage, and then the second option was just 1% off. And I was like, okay, this, what do I do with this? it's not like it's not like one is over the other for much, and two are have the same percentage. They tied. So I this is a great exercise for anyone who wants to work on multiple projects, but that doesn't work for them, and you're kind of like deciding which project to focus. Or if you're someone a little closer to what I do that is working on multiple projects, but I already have projects that I have to work on that I just cannot put to the side and work on them whenever I'm done with this. So I can add a project for NaNoWriMo, but it has to be one. And I cannot be a NaNoWriMo. Um, so this is what I do. This is the step that I don't skip in any of my projects. It is what I call a brain dump scenes. I I did not do this on the notebook, which I have it here in this pretty little dandy like cover folio. I don't know what's this called. I usually do that on a notebook, but if I am debating between a couple of projects like I am now, um, I just start and see if I can bring dump scenes. What is a brain dump scene? Brain dump scenes are pretty much just me writing any and all scenes that come into mind for this world and this character, regardless of the plot. I Some people may do this for the brainstorming phase, but actually, my brainstorming phase is to actually find if I have a plot, if I have enough story, if I have enough for a book. If the idea is enough to further follow it and develop it. But when I sit down and do brain dump scenes, I'm gonna take Marina the vampire as the example, which that's now under my pen name Mireya Navarre. So you'll see that under that name. It's not under mine anymore. Just business decisions that we do. Anyways, so when I did the brain dump scenes for Marina, I was like thinking, okay, Marina meeting Ethan for the first time. That was and kind of like I had a few ideas on how that scene could look like, and I wrote it down. And I was like, okay, and an interaction between Marina and Karina, which is a witch we meet during Marina the Vampire, and kind of like their interaction after Marina comes from a bunch of people, a bunch of vampire hunters. Um, then there's a scene between Marina and Christina, which is the alpha wolf in the US in the story. And they're kind of like interaction. And I knew when I was kind of like brain dumping that scene, I discovered that pretty much Karina is what holds Marina and Christina friendship, relationship, acquaintance, whatever they have. Um, I had brain dump scenes between Marina and her sire. I have brain dump scenes between Marina and some of her children, between Marina and some of her children's children, and some like fighting scenes, and like was she fighting people from the Vampire Hunter organization? Was she fighting other vampires or other supernatural creatures? Things like that. I just spitball a bunch of ideas, and this takes pages. Uh, I think the shortest brain dump scene that I have done was 2 pages back and forth, so 4 pages. So, seeing that all of the 3 ideas were either the same percentage or 1% off, I sat down for a couple of days and um, checked if I could start doing brain dump scenes. I have a few brain dump scenes for the first option, the Taino Diet inspire fantasy, but I kind of like got stuck on what I was kind of like spitballing, and I haven't found a way to unstuck myself. I think it might be because I am not sure about the ending, and this is something that I have recently learned for myself. If I want to have a better chance to actually follow the book through and finish it, not only the drafting, but actually all the way, like drafting, the multiple revisions, editing, and all that, I had to have an ending in mind. I have to have a North Star. I can't, I get stuck if I don't know where I'm going. And this is why I need outlines, because I just, like a blank page, it, if I don't have any, if I didn't leave any guidance for myself, it's gonna stay that way, blank. Um, so I didn't have much luck with that. So I was like, this is, as much as people on Instagram love the idea, I don't know if this is gonna be the one to work on Nano, especially because I just have 2 weeks. And time is key, especially when you're doing a challenge like NaNoWriMo that it's meant to help you put your editor and analytical side to the side so you can actually put the story on page, and then you can work on it to make it better. So I know from past experience that I need to have as much as a solid outline as I can. I know I'm gonna deviate. I always deviate. It's just part of uh, the writer that I am. But I know that I need that guidance. If I don't have that roadmap, nothing is gonna happen. And one of the biggest reason why brain dump scenes is a key part of my progress and my process is if I cannot imagine a lot of scenes, then it's very hard for me to even do a short outline because I haven't. the story idea and the characters are not configure and gel enough in my mind that I can put them on words. So this is my way to know if the story idea is ready enough for me to create an outline to then draft it. So uh, I then moved to Magic Circus Sci-Fi Fantasy, which was the kind of like the other tie between the first option. And that one, I will apologize for everyone on YouTube that really like that idea, and I like it. I'll go to it eventually, but that one is still on that um, board, Pinterest board, Spotify playlist phase. I'm still working on envisioning the world and the characters and the story. So until that is not visual enough, I don't even have scenes in my head for it. So at this point, you might think, so she's gonna choose the second option, the craft meets rebelde. Well, I have to know if I actually can do Braindump scenes. Because if I couldn't, then I will have to find a way to unstuck myself for the first option because that one has some brain dump scenes already started on my Notion page when I was just like building this thing. So if I could make the second option work, then I had to figure out how to make option one work. But I was like let's give a chance to the option two. So this one has started with Comes, the movie The Craft, and the Mexican soap opera Rebelde. So I was like, okay, what out of those things are things that I like that I would like to add to my own story? Well, I had the setting, which is a private, rich school. So working on the mood boards for you guys to kind of like have a visual and choose, I also did the school logo and found a name for the school. So I was like, okay. I mean, this is part of the process. It's not what I need to know if this is a viable idea to draft in 2 weeks, but let's go along with it. Um, and then I started kind of like finding the bits and pieces that I wanted from those titles. So obviously the setting, private school, rich people, very privileged teens. Um, I also wanted the magic, the witchcraft aspect of the craft, and some of the motivations of some of the girls in the craft. As you guys know, if you have seen the craft, uh, the three girls that the protagonist meets at the school, they are seeking um, powers towards, like, they're seeking to gain power through witchcraft to solve personal issues. For one was to get out of poverty and out of a abusive relationship with her stepdad, I think. The other one was to get out of a bully situation and kind of like teach that bully a lesson. And then the third one was to get rid of the scars on her body that makes her feel very self-conscious and kind of like that she has to hide herself because people will bully, like her schoolmates bully her for it. And the main protagonist, she just wants to belong. She's in a new place and she just wants to belong. And like most teenage stories, when they have special powers, their biggest want is to just have a normal teenage life experience. Have friends, fall in love, have a cool boyfriend who likes them, things like that. And then I go to Rebelde, and then I was like, okay, what out of this massive 3-season long soap opera I want? Definitely the privileged kids, teenagers who do a lot of the things, but because their parents have money and power, they don't really get consequences for their actions. Um, I also like the storyline that there's kind of like a secret society that bullies uh, people out of the school if they don't think they are deserving of the social status. Like they bully students that are there with a scholarship, and they bully people who are technically new, rich. And I say new because some of them um, are rich because their parents are rich, but that's the first generation. Is not a generational is not generational money. It just started with their parents, and they are now the first generation under this one that it has come with money. Um, and they also bully people who used to have money but they don't have, so they know they're just keeping appearances till they can stay in the circle of rich people. I also identify that uh, Rebelda had a lot of parent, daughter or son, um, relationship dynamics, and they were explored a lot. There was one character that she did almost everything to get her dad's attention. Then there is a character who, um, her mom is a celebrity, and because of like the business that she grew in, her mom treat her more like a friend and not like a daughter. So what she wants, it's her mom, not a friend. Then we have uh, another character who everything he wants goes totally against his dad political ambitions, and his dad is very manipulative and kind of like treats his family as chess pieces to get what he wants. So he is kind of like tied in that family dynamic. um, and he is also a very conceited teen, because no matter what he does, his dad will get him out of the situation so it doesn't tarnish his image. Um, we have some characters that are like what they call the new rich. We have some characters that are in came in with a scholarship, and are trying to get a better education in this school, so they have a better chance to get into a really good university, so they can get into a good job, so they can help their families. That's kind of like the situation with some of these characters. So I was like, okay, I have all of this. How do I meld them together? So I was like, okay, so pretty much both stories have teens that do a lot of selfish things because they want to change something in their personal life or their family life. So I'm spitballing all of this to you guys, and I did that on a Word document. I just kept spitballing all of this, and this you could think of it as a brainstorming phase, which I already did that for this story. That's what I kind of like presented to you guys of the options. Um, this could technically be like a pre-brain dump scenes because I'm just like dissecting the aspects that I want in my story from those comp titles. Um, but yeah, I'm just bringing you through my brain thought. Um, so I apologize if I'm talking a little bit too fast. This is kind of like how my brain works, and I think I'm imagining that me doing this like in front of you guys, it's better than just be like, oh, this is what a brain dump scenes is for me and call it a day. Which I already did. I kind of like give you the gist of what a brain dump scenes list is for me. Now I'm bringing you to the entire process. Anyways, so I have all that. So since I came into the realization that these teenagers in both medias were doing things to change or get something out of for them personally or family wise. So I was like, okay, what if magic comes in? So for some of the characters, they will use magic to get what they want or try to get what they want. Um, and some of them will try very hard not to use it because they've been pushed to think it's not reliable to achieve what they want. I also put in a few of like very religious parents, like very like fanatic religious kind of thing, because that is pretty prevalent in Hispanic households. Um, so I was like, this is a good kind of like cultural thing that can be added. So I sprinkled that in. Obviously, I sprinkled the secret society kind of like bullying, trying to get people out of the school because they don't think they deserve to be in the school kind of situation, which is going to be the mystery that's going to be throughout the story, kind of like solving who are these people and why are they targeting these students, things like that. Those situations pulling other characters who may not want to be involved, because it doesn't because they benefit from that's what the secret society does, but they are being pulled into it because they might care for the people that are being bullied. Things like that. We're working through this. We're starting to see scenes and interactions between characters and how characters are connecting and why are they connecting. Do they have background stories? Do their families have any relationship that kind of like trickle down to them? Things like I'm spillballing spill into doing a brain dump, starting to do brain dump scenes. I did not wrote them down on a notebook or anything like that because again, I'm just trying to figure out which story I'm gonna focus, so I can actually do a legit, for me, brain dump scene and then turn that into a short outline, and then turn that into a long outline. I'll talk about that later on other videos, so stay tuned. I was like, okay, but do I have a ending in mind? Again, this is the key thing. This is why my first option has been stuck, because I still don't have an ending in mind. I still, thing is, I haven't decided if it's gonna end with them saving the island, or is it gonna end on possibly them not and saving the island, or maybe is it gonna be an entire different ending? It's one of them dying. Like, I don't know. I have ideas, like I have said, but I haven't. Nothing right now for that option feels like the ending that feels right to me. Now, I also have a couple of endings for this option too. Um, it also helps. It's a school setting, so I kind of like have a timeline. Um, so I have to decide, because I have a couple endings in mind that feel right for the story, but I had to make a decision of which one feels the rightest, if that's a word. Safe to say that I'm still going back and forth between option one and option two, because both of them have been, I have started Braindump scenes, but both of them I haven't set up an ending for it, and I personally need to know that. Um, you may be able to do your Braindump scene list without having an ending in mind. It's just how my brain works now. But it's safe to say that both of them have Braindump scenes started. Um, they are in a state that I can envision enough to put in on words. So there's that. I already have a sound, because you have seen on the last video the playlist for option one. Um, I show you that that has a sound, and I am perusing Spotify to find the sound that I want for option two. Once I am probably gonna do that, I'm gonna be working on the playlist while still mulling over the ending and adding scenes to that brain dump list until one feels solid enough to move to the short outline. Um, I'm hoping that it's decided in the next 2 days, because I mean, I technically can do the short outline pretty quickly. The long outline will take me, I'll need at the very least a week. And I will like to have that project sit for a couple of days before I actually open a Scrivener document and all that for NaNoWriMo. There's not a clear decision right now, but the silver lining is scenes are coming into my head, and I'm being able to write digitally a brain dump scene list. Once one of them has a ending, like a solid ending, a ending that I feel solid. That's the better phrase. Then that's gonna be the one. Hopefully, by next video, which I'm gonna talk about the short outline. What's a short outline for me? I will have a project chosen, and if I have, hopefully, I will have a NaNoWriMo announcement. So yes, friends, that's it. Let me know if you do this kind of situation, and what if you do it, what do you call it? If it's part of one of your steps in your process. If you are participating from NaNoWriMo, let me know down in the comments if you already choose a project. Let me know, give me a little bit, give me a hint, give me a tease of what you're going to work on. Whether you are doing traditional nano or you're doing rebel style, which is working on multiple projects, editing and revising, do your own kind of situation, poetry, script writing, and if you're not participating, that's completely fine. I do still recommend to kind of like be around, because this is the time when the writing community is the most active. So you can kind of like get a adrenaline injection. You might be able to find some writer friends, maybe find your circle, tribe, your peeps, things like that. So even if you're not participating in the event, do come to the online activities that are created by different writers here in the other tube community, here on YouTube or on Twitch or on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Writers are gathering, and that can definitely help you. Don't feel like you're alone, and you might be able to find some writer friends and kind of like start building your circle, or expand your circle of writer friends. So that's it for this video. Again, for just a small recap, a braindump scene for me is the step that I do before starting outline, and this is how I know if what I ambition I can then dump it into words. And this is the list where every scene gets written down, regardless of plot. A lot of things can be plot. A lot of scenes that I write is just like random interactions that may not end up anywhere, just there on that brain dump scene. That's why it's called a brain dump. I'm literally dumping every scene that comes in my mind on a digital page or on the actual notebook that I have decided, that I have chosen. In this case, you guys have chosen for the project. Um, Next week, I'm gonna talk about the short outline, and the last video for Preptober is gonna be the long outline, which just for some of you, it's gonna be pretty much the Save the Cat, Raise an Apple beat sheet. So that's if you are not a big outliner, or if you have felt that that type of outline is too much, then check out my short outline video coming next Tuesday. And then if that is enough for you, you can totally skip the last video where I do the long outline. If you feel that the short outline is not enough, then check out the last Preptober video that I'm releasing, which is going to be more the long outline, which is pretty much going to be this. Um, if by any chance you are watching and you speak Spanish, I was a guest on Arte Escrito podcast by Alexandra Roman, which is a Spanish podcast for authors. She's a Puerto Rican author of the Ascensión Divina trilogy, which is a Taino inspired fantasy. This is the first book, Obsession. Right now is in Spanish, but if her publisher has any plans or they release any information about a possible English translation, I will let you guys know ASAP so you can check her out. But if you are a Spanish speaker or you understand Spanish and you want to uh, hear us talk about Save the Cat Writes a Novel, check the video out. I will leave the link in the description box. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Next, we have one more productivity Preptober stream on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then the last Sunday of October is the Romance Writers Room Live. We're talking billionaire romance. We have a author coming in to kind of like workshop their billionaire romance. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you like chatty writing videos, if you like writing blogs, if you enjoy romance, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.